Hello, this is teacher May Sam. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Today's lesson is about vocabulary and how language learners can learn vocabulary, or let's say can memorize vocabulary easily. If you're interested in this topic, try to watch this video until the end. I receive a lot of questions about, teacher, we know a lot of vocabulary, but we are not using them. Okay. You go to the gym, come back home, you look at yourself into the mirror and see, okay, there's no change. Tomorrow, you watch Netflix. Do not write everything. It is not a must. You finished 7 pages. You might suffer. It is going to be so challenging for you. Buy yourself an expensive notebook. After 6 months, I don't know, I cannot imagine how many vocabulary you have learned. Take notes. You simply need to fill it. I definitely ask you to use different colors. Then you start to remember, okay, English is far worse than that. Think twice. There's no stop, no turning back. Learning is a very meandering process. Really difficult, arduous, meandering. So let's get the ball rolling. Listen. As a teacher, as a language user, let's say, I would definitely say, buy yourself an expensive notebook. Why? Because it works like psychologically. When you spend money on something that you pay, okay, that specific object can become very important for you. This is for sure, right? Next, you can simply take notes. This is really important. I see a lot of students tired, coming to classes so tired. They can understand me while I'm teaching in the class. They can communicate with me very easily, but mostly they do not take notes. So that is wrong. Language learners simply need to take notes. This is very easy and very basic, very cliche. I go to classes. I try to teach something, sometimes expressions, idioms, this and that. But when I see students do not take notes, this is so surprising and very interesting for me. Maybe they are so tired, maybe they are not motivated, but this is a part of the process. Believe me, you need to take notes. That is a must. Next, when you buy your notebook or let's say agenda, you simply need to, fill it. This is very simple. Okay, my experience is like this. You try to open this, notebook, okay? And the first page, on the top of the page, write the topic. For example, you can say, in the class, teacher May Sam's class, today is, for example, the date. You have to write the date. And then you write with numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus, I definitely ask you to use different colors. This is so important. Why? The answer is so simple. Because, when you finish writing this notebook, when you want to review this, if you write with only one specific color, it is going to be so boring and it cannot, absorb your attention again. You say, come on, I cannot read that, I can't. But psychologically, if you use different colors, believe me, you can definitely improve your vocabulary. Next, for example, today you were in my class. Tomorrow, you watch Netflix. Okay, write the topic. The topic, for example, you can write How I Met Your Mother, Netflix. And write the, date. Again, do not write everything. It is not a must. Write those things that you feel they are so nice, they are so cool and decorative. You can use them in the future. This is very important. Right? Based on the number as an order, 1 to whatever. And tomorrow, for example, you are reading a book, a novel, a short story, a magazine, newspaper, I don't care. Again, write the topic and put the date over there. Now, let's say 1 week is over. You finished 1 week taking notes every day, right? Let's say you finished 7 pages. Okay, 7 pages at the end of the week. Every day 1 page. For example. Now it is weekend, and what should you do? Go to very, very beginning. Go to the first page and start to review them, right? You might suffer. It is going to be so challenging for you to remember everything, but believe me, do it. Just do it. Be consistent. This is really important. And after finishing the previous week, now you're allowed to learn something new. Go to page 8. Again, topic and date, right? And fill the page. Again, next day. So the next week again, you go to very, very beginning again. After 1 month, again, beginning. Imagine that after 6 months, I don't know, I cannot imagine how many vocabulary you have learned. By that time, you go to very, very beginning, and all of a sudden, you start to remember, because you kept reading and practicing this vocabulary every single week. Okay? This is so important. Again, at the beginning, it is going to be so challenging and difficult. But believe me, step by step, you start to remember everything, every single vocabulary by memorizing them. Actually, this is my experience that I used to do it when I was a student. I still do it, actually. Now, I receive a lot of questions about, teacher, we know a lot of vocabulary, but we are not using them. Okay. First of all, we have to make it clear that using that specific vocabulary doesn't mean that you have to use it in your speaking on a daily basis. It is impossible. Imagine in your mother tongue, how many vocabulary you know, how many words or vocabulary list, let's say, you are using every single day. That is limited. But it doesn't mean that you don't know those vocabulary that you are not using them, right? This is very important. Second, using the vocab could be in one of the skills. We have 4 skills, right? Speaking, listening, reading, and writing. You are reading a sort of magazine, and you come across with a word that you have already known. Oh, so you are using it. How? You are using that vocabulary, that word, to understand the text. Or, let's say, in listening, you're watching a video, you're listening to news, you are listening to a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, the speaker, the person, the actor, actress, whatever, actually is using a word. Then you start to remember, right? That is, again, using the vocabulary. Get it? So, using that vocabulary, using that word, doesn't mean that you need to use it in your speaking on a daily basis. No, it doesn't mean so. You don't need to only use it in your speaking. Sometimes it can be possible, sometimes it cannot. Imagine your mother tongue again. Think twice. Think again. So, be focused, be consistent, and keep going. There's no stop, no turning back. Okay? Just forward. Just forward. Learning is a very meandering process. Really difficult, arduous, meandering, so difficult, challenging process, to be honest. Okay? So, you go to the gym, come back home, you look at yourself into the mirror and see, okay, there's no change. Tomorrow again. The other day again. After 6 months, you come home, you look at yourself into the mirror, maybe you see no change. But you know that having a good body, to have a nice form and good shape, takes time. It is not over a month or over a year. Maybe you need years and years to reach your full potential, to reach your full desired condition, right? Okay, English is far worse than that because unfortunately you are not using it on a daily basis. You only use it in the classes, right? This is so important and so sad. Last but not least, do what I did, like take notes and keep practicing them every single week. But again, if you have time, I would recommend you to practice to review the vocabulary every day. But of course, it is not possible. I would say review your vocabulary every single weekend or at the end of the week after 7 days. Yeah, that is it. Buy yourself an expensive notebook. Take notes. You simply need to, fill it. In the first page, on the top of the page, write the topic. I definitely ask you to use different colors. Write those things that you feel they are so nice, they are so cool and decorative. Taking notes every day, right? What should you do? Go to very, very beginning. Go to the first page and start to review them, right? The next week again, you go to very, very beginning again. After 1 month, again, beginning. Very good. So, live long and prosper. Take care.